Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and let's get ready to go flying. And that is burping the engine, right? So Libor and Martin are now inside. We just took the airplane out, did the pre-flight check. Everything is ready, and now they're soon going to start up the engine. Let's wait for that. Wait for the noise. It might take a couple of attempts because the plane hasn't flown for some time. One, and the second or the third it'll go, I'm sure. After each attempt it's good to wait a little bit, kind of like in a car. And there it is. So I'll move back. They have their space. They'll have to wait for the warm-up. It's going to take a few minutes to warm up. As I say, I like that time actually because it gives you time to see how all the indicators climb up. The pressure, oil temperature, everything climbs up. So it's not a bad moment to somehow get into the mood of flying and then preparing. So let's see how it goes. Finally, once again, after a few weeks of the wind and the weather not letting us fly, we're going to try to fly again. It's a bit windy today, but not too strong, so it should be within the limits of the airplane to fly. So let's see how it goes today. Already now it's 10 to 15 hours. We should be able to fly on our own, but we are not there yet. I think it's because of the long breaks that we've had. But it's a good approach. He's going to push us to do as much as we can on our own. Of course, he's going to be there to save us if something goes wrong. And we're going to be practicing as before, takeoff, going around the pattern and landing again, and then full landing. We're not going to do the stop and goes. We're going to do the full landing so that we can go through the whole process of the takeoff, pre-check flights and things like that. So that's good, and let's see how it goes today. Today it's also quite cold, which is good actually for flying, because then the air density is quite high, and it will probably climb. The airplane will climb quite well, which is always good. We always have to bear in mind the wind. Yeah, there you see the windsock there behind me. There's a bit of a crosswind, but it should be fine. And one has to bear in mind also with the crosswind, when we turn into final, for example, how do we do it? We shouldn't do it ahead of time and things like that. These are all things that one has to bear in mind. So just a bit of promotion here for Libor, in case you're interested and you're in the region and you want to fly in a Eurostar and in this cute little airfield. These are the details. There's a web page there that I'll link probably somewhere down there also. So just give him a call, send him an email and start to go flying. One of the most important things, if not the most important thing when flying, is the airspeed. Right? That's what Libor says is the alpha and omega, and everybody says that the three main things when flying, which is airspeed, and airspeed. Right? So, and that's something that one has to bear in mind always. It's different than with a car, because with a car you have the physical reference when you go by, so you might not need to look at the speedometer so often. With an airplane, first of all, the references are very far away, so they don't work. And then also the wind can change, so it's very important to keep an eye on the airspeed constantly, especially flying in the pattern. I suppose when one is flying in cruise at 160 or 200 kilometers per hour or whatever, then it's not so bad. But flying in the pattern, when one is flying one has to be very precise on the speed that one is flying. We fly on the Eurostar 120 kilometers per hour. Then we have to constantly keep an eye on that, and if there's a gust of wind or if we drop that speed too much or anything like that, then it's not good, because one can end up losing control and going down below the stalling speed. Of course, there are always some limits and there are some ranges, and we fly 120. The airplane, when it's full flaps down, will not stall until around 70, so there's a bit of a safety margin for sure, but one doesn't want to push those margins because things can happen very quickly, as we see. Things happen like all the things, all the steps that one has to take in the when flying in the pattern. Okay, that's Martin and Libor preparing for the runway, for the takeoff. I'm not sure if you heard that, but as I was saying, with the airspeed, one really has to bear everything in mind and have it always under control. I'll try to put somewhere a picture of the airspeed indicators that I took a picture of to study it also offline, and one has to get used to having it almost not every second, but very, very often, to look at it at the same time as looking outside, looking at the altitude. A lot of things to look at when flying. And you probably couldn't see it, but I have also experienced that as we are flying into the wind, if the wind is a bit strong, then actually the speed versus the ground is actually much lower. So one does have the feeling that one is flying slower, but the airspeed is actually quite high. Same will be then on the downwind path, that actually you have wind from the tail, so actually going much faster. So there's even less time to do all the checklist, all the downwind checklist. There's even less time to do that. So again, the wind, the air is something that we don't see, but has a tremendous influence and tremendous importance in the way we fly and what we do. So that's something that we have to understand.